I live, you know, just around sea level, so I am a bit disadvantaged to the French guys living in 1300 meters.
In general, biathlon is an extreme different sport. You have the 100% all out on the track, and then you have to be really calm on the shooting range. When you go up on altitude, on 1400, 1500 or even higher, you're feeling like the air is not enough to breathe, and then you have to stop breathing and have to focus on the range, and that's of course not easy.
I grew up definitely sea level. First time I raced out there, I felt like I was moving in slow motion. I couldn't breathe at all. My body felt so heavy.
You have to deal with a high sub-maximum heart rate, an increased breathing rate.
A lot of people are going to be working on that this week at World Champs to kind of fine-tune what they can do at altitude.
Yeah, it's almost the same height here, maybe a bit lower than Antholz, so for sure it's a good preparation and a good, call it pre-Olympics.
Definitely, I think me, my coaches, and I think everybody out here is trying to find every little advantage and every tool that they can to figure out how to race, train, and be the best they can at the higher altitudes that we have coming up in the next couple of years.
Many nations, they stay or they live on 1400, 1500 or even higher. For them, of course, there is no adaptation needed.
The ventilation, the breathing, respiration is one of the key things for me that I always want to look at, and I want to teach the athletes how it changes from the sea level to medium to high altitude so that they can have this experience before the major competitions.
The biggest factor for me is lack of oxygen that makes you more sore in the muscles quite early. I go up to the limit right away, and that's why I have this, you know, smile because I find my pain threshold quite early, but in altitude it doesn't really work.
They have a leftward shift of the Laegreid performance curve and lower buffering mechanisms.
For me, it's important to have focused already some years before, to have regular camps during summer and also winter on altitude, so the body can adapt and also that you can train different options because each athlete is actually reacting quite individual.
Different methods to use training in the altitude. It's like live high, train high, live low, train high, or live high, train low.
Yeah, we do more altitude camps. So last year we did 3, and also next year we're going to do 3 altitude camps to prepare ourselves, mostly to make our bodies used to being in the altitude, and so that when we come to the Olympics next year we will be more prepared.
For sure, the most important is that all the athletes, they simply need the training. They need the exposure to altitude, but in the end, like I always say, the first and the last thing is the training. If the training is not in place, the periodization of the training, then to play with different altitudes in the preparation or during the competition, living high or living low, this makes no difference. It makes no sense to me.
There's a lot of different ways you can adjust your shooting so that you can still ski hard, but take the right shots.
Once the athlete has all the options, has practiced or has tried all the different options, then it's to decide what works the best.
Once you get used to it, it's really just about maybe taking a little bit more time on the range, taking one extra breath to kind of get that oxygen back to your brain, or shutting it down, as we say, slowing down a little bit more into the range before shooting.
The top of the elite athletes, they can make a decision there on the spot. They start with 2, even 3 breath cadence, and then last 2 shots, for example, they go with only 1.
And as you can see, a lot of people, I think, have been training at altitude for the past year. You could see it in Antholz. Everybody's shooting was incredible. Here, everybody's shooting has been incredible. So I think a lot of people have been really working on finding that fine line between racing hard and shooting really well at altitude.
I would say it's really individual, and there is no general rule about altitude training. You have to deal with it in each individual athlete.
In our philosophy, how we have approached it now, especially for the Olympics upcoming in a year or less than a year now, we wanted to give enough exposure to all the athletes already on the previous seasons, so that, like I said, they get the personal feeling. How does it feel on my body? What do I need to take into consideration when I approach the shooting range during the shooting, the bout of 5 shots?
And so your body really gets more tired faster at altitude. So you really have to take the recovery, the nutrition, and the hydration super seriously, especially when you're racing.